All right, Sean Williams here with Rivals.com, PowerMizzou.com. We're here doing another video interview with 2024 tight end commit Whit Hafer out of Joplin, Missouri. We appreciate you coming on, and I want to talk a little bit about obviously Missouri on this video. So I know you're a long-time commitment. You've been committed since February. So just kind of first off, just talk about that, just being committed to Missouri, how that's kind of been for you since you've been committed in February till now.
Yeah, it's been great. For me, it was a huge weight off my shoulders just getting the commitment out of the way, and of course, Mizzou's where I want to be. So I mean, just being able to take that next step and really start to build connections like with the staff and even other recruits, it's it's really relieving for me, and I've been enjoying it the whole way through.
Yeah, I mean, I did a little research before we came on, and I think it's actually been just over a year. I think a year and a day since you actually got offered by Missouri. So
Yeah,
maybe take us back then, whenever you picked up that offer from Missouri. How did that kind of come about, and how excited were you whenever that came down?
yeah. I mean, I was ecstatic. Is I went to a kind of skills camp towards the end of the summer, and I talked to Coach Link, the tight ends coach and special teams coordinator, and said they really liked what they saw, weren't going to offer me yet at that camp, and said to be expecting a phone call after probably my second game
Hmm.
on uh, if I played well or not, like if I was doing the things they were looking for, and if I didn't get that phone call, then that just meant kept working. And uh, I ended up getting that phone call after our first game, and that made it even cooler for me. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And of course, it was my first offer too,
Yeah.
being at the SEC level. Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure. Talk about that. Just kind of going back to the, going through that camp, getting to kind of experience what Coach Link's like as a person, and just kind of just coach's style too. Just kind of talk about that and describe him.
Yeah, Coach Link's great. I think he has a vision for me, and I understand uh, what he sees me as at Mizzou. And I understand that my best football is has not happened yet. Like I haven't hit my peak yet, and he's expecting me to be playing at my peak level in 4 years when I'm playing at Mizzou. And um, I mean, I love his mindset. I think we think very similarly on things, and he's been a great voice of reasoning into my journey through it all. Um, and as a coach, I mean, I'm a coachable guy. I can take any coaching style really, but I like his. He's stern enough to tell you when you need to be doing things right, but also he's going to talk to you. He's going to be somebody that's there to support you. He's not just going to be on you all the time. So yeah, Coach Link's great.
Yeah, got a good balance there in this coaching style and everything. You kind of mentioned obviously you got that offer. You camped there, you got the offer after the first game. Kind of talk about Coach Link, what he said he kind of likes about your ability whenever he offered you, and then maybe some things he said you think you've improved on over this past year and everything.
Yeah. The yeah. So he uh he really liked my ability to block. My how aggressive I was, my point of contact, and of course, just as a coach, he was looking for those kind of right characteristics of somebody that is going to do all the right things and be somebody that strives to get better at that. And I think I checked all those boxes for him, and especially being able to get out and like outside zone, being able to reach guys. Because I'm a big dude, but I can still move quick enough to get outside of those other quick DNs. And as I develop more, I think he's going to look at that as a huge upside, and uh, just being able to develop me into more of a blocker, and then of course they'll be able to go out and make tough catches.
Hmm.
He's he's really, I mean, even at that camp I went to, he helped me a lot with blocking there. Just figuring some of that stuff out, just the little things, and uh, as I'm sure throughout my season, the film he watches, he'll give me tips on what I could be doing better that maybe I'm not getting from my high school coaches, since he's going to be focused on just that group, whereas high school's a whole different thing.
Right.
I'm sure he'll chime in and still give my high school coaches some of their space to help me grow, but at the same time, let me have some of that wisdom that he has before I get there.
Yeah. Talk about, committing. Like I said, you committed back in February. You got that offer, like I said, a year ago. When did you kind of know that Missouri was kind of the right fit, or you were going to pick Missouri? Because I mean, Missouri was your first offer, but then you got more after that. So
Yeah.
when was there a specific moment that you kind of knew Missouri was going to be the place you were going to go?
Yeah, it was pretty recent before I had committed. I mean, the start of the recruiting process, I was open to anything really. I, I was, of course, it was early in the season. I was like, okay, don't really need to worry about that right now. I can worry about all the recruitment stuff later. I just got to get through my season and focus on that. And of course, I picked up other offers in the season, and then a little bit out of season two. And for me, it was really, of course, being the first offer does its due diligence as far as building that connection early. And also just they kept in contact with me the whole way through, and let me know that I was the guy that they wanted, which with the other schools, I knew that they really liked me, but I think they also kind of had like a hint that this guy has a lot of connections to Mizzou, so he might be going to Mizzou. And so I think they were kind of 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out. And
Right.
I kind of felt that. I mean, the other coaches on the other staffs were great too, and they're great people, great coaches. But I could kind of feel that like I wasn't the guy that they specifically wanted, and it was, I think, probably a week or probably even a few nights before I committed. Um, I had gone to I'd gone up to Mizzou and for a visit, or I was going up to Mizzou for a spring game, and I was talking with my parents, and I was like, I think I really want to go there because I had a visit set up for Iowa State as well later in that month, and I was like, I don't know if going to Iowa State will change anything really, because like I right now I feel like I know like Mizzou's where I want to be. It makes the most sense for me, and that's where I have the connections built, and I like the staff, all that, and so it just made the most sense for me. So it was a few nights before that happened. I had to talk with my parents, and then had to talk with my high school coaches the next day to get their thoughts on it, and then called Coach Link and Coach Drinkwitz about it too. So
Yeah. Yeah. So talk about that phone call. I mean, telling them that you were committing. What was kind of their reactions whenever you called and told them?
Coach Link was, I don't think he was really surprised. I think he had a feeling. And I mean, he was dropping hints the whole time. I don't know classes it's been where the tight end has been the first commitment, but he was like, you
Mm.
could add to it, man. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I think he knew that I wanted to, and I was leaning that way. And Coach Drinkwitz, because I called Coach Link first, and I think because he told Coach Drink I was going to call, but I think you know how that goes. He probably just told Coach Drink that already, and when I called Coach Drink, he kind of had his program a little responsive. That's great, man. Like neither of them were really surprised, but they were definitely excited,
Yeah.
especially to get the class rolling and everything.
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
meant. Yeah, you mentioned obviously ties to Missouri. Your dad played basketball there, so I mean, you're obviously a basketball player too. And you're pretty good. I see videos you dropping like 5, 6 threes in the game, and you're pretty active on the board. So talk about that. Just talk about having those ties to Missouri with your dad, and any cool just memories of Missouri or going to Missouri games growing up. Considering that your dad's an alum there and everything.
yeah, I mean, I've grown up a Missouri fan, and like it's been a dream as a kid. I really wanted to go to Mizzou to play basketball. Actually, it's funny how that works out, and that didn't happen. But I'm still going to Mizzou, so it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, grew up a Tiger fan, and I was always around Columbia. I'm super comfortable with the town. Just growing up, we would go in and out for games, and uh, my uncle lived up there for a little while, so I had family up there. And, so I was always up and around it. Loved the team, and it was really uh, impactful on my youth.
Yeah. You mentioned, you thought about playing basketball. I mean, Dennis Gates can always use a walk on or two after the season's over. So, just saying. So, yeah, I think we got you listed at 6'7", 245. What are you at right now, man?
Yeah, I'm still at 6'7", pushing 250 now.
Okay. Gotcha. Talk about basketball. I mean, obviously, I talked about some of your highlights. You obviously a really good basketball player. Talk about like going back to your childhood. Obviously, your dad played basketball. I'm sure that was a big influence on you. Which sport did you kind of start playing first? Basketball, football, and when did you kind of know that football was kind of going to be the course for you in terms of getting a scholarship in college?
Yeah, so growing up, I loved basketball. I still love basketball. It was definitely my first love in a sport, and I mean, I'd go play it right now, um, just because it's so much fun to me. And I feel the same way about football now. Growing up, I played flag football, and then didn't really play tackle football until the sixth grade, and then played that for 1 year and took a year off, played eighth grade, and been playing ever since. But I was really interested in basketball, obviously, with my dad being a college athlete and a coach at my school. It was it was really big in my life, and I put a lot of time into it, and that's what I really wanted to go to college for. And then as high school went on, getting into my junior year, I was playing for a club team and AO Flight down in Arkansas, and we were really good, and but also at the same time I was going to camps and doing stuff for football, getting recruited for that, and then of course once football season came, it all kind of took off, and at that point I knew I was like, yeah, football might be the thing I need to go do, because I mean I still love the sport too, and it's my thing was I loved basketball and I wanted to play basketball, but it was more important to me to be the best version of me that I could be, whether that was basketball or football. And so I made the decision to go play football, and haven't looked back since, really.
Yeah, I think it's a lot. Is it a lot better playing football? You can't get called for a foul if you push somebody down.
Yeah, my size definitely plays into it a lot better. I can be big in football, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. So talk about basketball, just to enlighten us a little bit. Obviously, you love basketball. You mentioned that it's in your family history. Who's some of your favorite basketball players you kind of like to watch, whether it's college or NBA?
Oh man, I never watched it much. I'd always rather be playing it growing up. I always liked growing up. I liked Derrick Rose and the Bulls,
Mhm.
because me and my brother would play NBA Jam, and we'd always play the Bulls. He'd be Derrick Rose. I'd be oh man, who was it? Was Pippen? No, I can't remember.
But if you're getting Pippen, you're going way old school NBA Jam back in the '90s.
And um, I would basically get all the boards and let my brother shoot threes. But yeah, I love that. I love playing that with him, and I love the Bulls just because of that. And like, I mean, obviously, wasn't. I didn't end up being built like Derrick Rose with that kind of athleticism, but I mean, I loved his play style, and as I grew older and got bigger, I mean, just the dominant play style of being able to go to the rim and finish over everybody, like a Shaquille O'Neal type.
Mm.
That's what I really wanted to be. Definitely in my like freshman year, it was cut very short because of injury, but uh, I mean, I was dunking really early. I was dunking in the eighth grade, and so I took any chance I could. If I was close enough to the rim, I was dunking it, and uh, that was really what I tried to mold my game after.
Man, there you go. There you go. Yeah, talk about that. We'll kind of shift over. I kind of ask you who you like to kind of watch basketball wise growing up. I mean, who you kind of anybody on the football on the gridiron like college, NFL, you kind of like to watch, emulate your game after.
Oh man, I never. I mean, I didn't really watch football that much growing up. We were kind of a basketball household, but uh, definitely now. I mean, you look at all those tight ends like Rob Gronkowski, and George Kittle, and even Travis Kelce now. And I mean, I'm not much of a receiving tight end, but uh, just the physicality, being able to look at it. I mean, it's always fun to watch somebody do that job at that level, especially the best of the best. And I mean, I enjoyed just watching football now at all levels. Just trying to pick up on some of that stuff that is at that level.
Yeah, no doubt. You mentioned going back. You mentioned relationship with coaches. You've built some relationship with the commitments. Just talk about that. Your relationship with the commitments, how that's going, and who you kind of talk to frequently the most, I guess, among the commitments right now.
Yeah, I probably talk to Ryan the most. I haven't met I've met Ryan in person. I haven't met many of the others because they're more recent. They came in kind of after that Gold Rush weekend, which was that official visit weekend they had, and I was up there for that, and so was Ryan, and we kind of met in person there. And I didn't see many of the other guys, but I mean, they still talk to us. We have a group chat. We talk. We'll have some of the staff members send messages about other commits and just stuff going on, and uh, I'm really excited to get up there and officially meet them. It's kind of hard to build a connection when you don't really know a guy.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm super excited for it because I know it's just going to click well. I just have a good feeling about it.
Yeah. I mean, thoughts on the class so far and what you guys have right now?
Yeah, I think we're really solid. We obviously with Williams coming in, that's a big one. And it's exciting because hopefully it'll draw other guys in. But even away from that, the guys that we do have are going to be great. We have James Madison, Jackson Hancock, Justin Bodford down there in Florida. And they're, I mean, I see their stuff on Instagram all the time and think it's great just because those three already seem so close. Yeah, I just think once we're all up at Mizzou together, it's just going to click really well.
Is every other commit jealous of James Madison's graphics and with the things he kind of tweets out and puts on Instagram? Because they're pretty awesome, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, they're definitely doing a good job of marketing him, but yeah, I mean, I'm not one to really beg for the spotlight, but I'm sure. I mean, everybody's getting their own taste of it, and everybody's getting their own praise. But I know that guy fits in it well. So
You're more low key, right? All right, all right. Kind of curious too. Like you, since you're committed, you plan to be an early enrollee, or are you going to enroll in the summer?
I'm gonna enroll in the summer. I'm gonna stay through high school. That way, I can play basketball and finish out that season and get all my credits in. And yeah, I mean, there's not much to that. Just I didn't really plan on graduating early in my high school career, so just kind of got to finish all that stuff out.
Yeah, and for you, like you said, you love basketball so much, you get to
Yeah,
enjoy it your senior season, so
yeah.
that's really cool too. Um, so when coming back up to Missouri for games, what's kind of your game plan? You're going to try to hit up all the home games this season, or what?
Most of them. I think I'm only gonna miss like two, I think, and I'm gonna try to get as many as I can. Obviously, to just be up there, be around everybody, start building those connections more, and help recruit too some of those younger guys that they're gonna try to get in the younger classes.
Yeah,
Just keep
yeah,
it going.
sounds good. And last question I'll ask you, Whit, before we go, just your a general message to Missouri fans right now from you.
Uh, I think we're only going up. The future looks really bright for us. I think people have really looked down upon it in the past and not looked at our program as a winning one, but I don't think that's at all how it's going to be in these next few years. I think we're only getting better, and people are going to start to realize it real soon.
All right. Sounds good. Whit Hafer, tight end commit from Joplin, Missouri. Appreciate the time, man. Thanks a lot for joining us on the show. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Of course.